and welcome to the first episode of The Lounge. I'm Mama Shoff, and we got a great show in store for you. First up, from the dynamic group Wilson Phillips, please welcome Carter Wilson. Hey! Take a seat, girl. No, take a seat. All right.
Okay.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Yeah.
All right, so you look like you just came from the gym. You look horrible.
Well, I thought I looked pretty good. I'm just training for a half marathon right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's why you got all sweaty. Okay. All right, so let's talk about Wilson Phillips.
That's my band, Wilson Phillips.
And your one-hit wonder, Hold
But
On.
it's more like, hold on.
Oh, it's a bit flat, but it's okay.
Hold,
She's getting there.
hold on.
All right, and Hold On was recently previewed in the movie Bridesmaids.
Yes, such a good movie.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
I love it. How was that?
It was so much fun. I love it. And actually, we're going to start a tour from it. Like, we're going to...
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Mhm.
Well, anyway, speaking of bridesmaids,
Okay.
baby, you might be a bridesmaid your whole life if you keep wearing this. You know what I mean?
She's so funny.
All right.
She's so funny.
So, you're here today to talk about how your daddy changed music.
Yes.
So, we're going to talk about Pet Sounds.
Pet Sounds.
The
Such
album.
a good album. Really good
So
album.
good. All right.
Okay.
So,
I'm
what
just
is-
getting my notes ready.
That's
Can I use these? Because I have a little bit of amnesia.
ooh, baby, what happened?
It's just I slipped the half marathon. It's just
Oh,
it's okay.
okay.
We don't have to talk about it. But
Oh, it's okay. You can use your notes,
okay.
baby girl.
Thank you.
All right. Question.
Mhm.
What are the musical elements and performance techniques used, and how do they contribute to the distinctive character of the album?
First, don't you want to know like what I'm going to talk about? So
Yeah, sure. What's the purpose? What's the purpose and focus of the analysis?
okay, the purpose. So I want to identify the significance of the Beach Boys album. That's my daddy.
Okay.
My daddy's people. Yeah. The album Pet Sounds,
Yeah.
and then talk about its contribution to the world of music.
Okay.
That's number one. Ready
All
for
right.
number two, Nelly?
Number two. It's my show, remember.
Okay.
What are the musical elements and performance techniques used, and how do they contribute to the distinctive character of the album?
Okay. So my daddy, Brian Wilson, he used vocal harmonies coupled with sound effects and unconventional instruments. So get a load of what he used. He used bicycle bells,
Ooh.
buzzing organs, harpsichords, flutes, electrotheremin, theremin, Theremin.
What is that?
You're going to have to Google that one because, folks, I don't even know what that is. Okay.
Me neither, girl.
Theremin. Dog whistles.
Dog whistle.
Can you do a dog whistle?
I got a dog. His name's Petrie. I go, Petrie, come here, boy.
So that's all he did.
That's a dog whistle.
Mama, you're funny.
Oh.
Okay, trains, Hawaiian-sounding string instruments. No, wait, Coca-Cola cans.
Girl, I love me some Coca-Cola.
I like Pepsi, but that's okay. And barking dogs, along with more usual keyboards and guitars.
That is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
Yeah.
crazy. The new word I made. Classy and crazy.
Okay, number three. That's great.
Number three.
Keep going.
What technology was used on the album? See, my little nephew, Ray Ray, he makes beats on his computer. So what did they use?
Well, my daddy wasn't quite like little Ray Ray making beats. Does that sound like you?
No, but move on.
Okay. But my dad was a pioneer of the studio as instrument concept.
Yeah.
And so basically what he would do, he would combine sounds that sprang from the use of like electric instruments and voices and ensembles, and he would combine them with echo and reverberation. And he would often double parts like bass, guitar, keyboard parts. He would blend them with the reverb and then add other unusual instruments. And of course he used overdubs as well, so that's just part of it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, next question. Number 4.
Yeah, number 4.
What is the style and character of the album? What are some particular musical elements that seem characteristic of this album?
I really thought that we answered that one.
No, we didn't.
Oh,
It's a new question.
okay. Okay, so for this I would say that it's a Baroque pop album.
Yeah.
So that's really what would be characteristic of this style. And so you probably need to know what Baroque pop is, so let me explain that one to you too. Well, I did a little Wikipedia research on this one.
Ooh, a reliable source.
Yeah, I know. It's so reliable. And perhaps one of the most influential works in the subgenre was my daddy's album,
Oh.
Pet Sounds, okay?
Okay.
And so basically because it featured surreal and melodramatic lyrics and
Mm.
arrangements,
Yeah.
and it also contained Baroque instrumentation that was light years away from their past efforts. So Baroque instrumentation, like they would use guitars, and they would use the flute and the harpsichord and all that crazy stuff that people didn't usually use.
Wow.
And it was also known as a psychedelic rock pop album. And so psychedelic people start thinking drugs.
Oh, like the truck your daddy was on. No? Oh, it's okay. I'm sorry, baby. sensitive subject. Sensitive subject. Let's move on. If it ain't Baroque, don't fix it. That's what Mama always says.
Okay,
They make you laugh. All right, number 5. Which specific elements of music or performance did the band uniquely contribute to the world of music?
This is a good question, too.
Yeah.
Well, this was like one of the first albums that was considered a concept album.
What's that mean?
And so basically, it was from the first cut to the last. We had a linear personal vision of this love affair, you know? And so basically...
Scandalous.
There was no filler songs in it. So what happened before this real album, because this was one of the first albums in the album era. He was just such a revolutionist, my daddy. So before this, there were things called LPs, which is long play. And so it was just like a compilation of a bunch of songs, but this actually had a concept behind it. Ooh. So it actually told a cohesive story from the beginning to the end, in contrast to the LPs. And also, just a little side note, it's been recognized as one of the most influential records in the history of popular music and one of the best albums in the 1960s.
Interesting.
Yeah, even ranked number 2 according to Rolling Stone. So even better than Michael Jackson. Yeah.
Oh, well.
Sorry, MJ. Rest in peace.
Nobody touches Michael Jackson. Let me just say.
Okay.
All right. Next question.
But it didn't.
Next.
We
did it. Okay. It didn't. Next question. Who and what were the key influences of the band?
Definitely Rubber Soul of the Beatles. Okay. My dad told me that when he was sitting in his home in California, before I was even hatched, wasn't even thought of it, that he heard this album, and it really spurred him on to write his album.
Okay.
And so, yeah, Rubber Soul of the Beatles, that was really what started it all for him.
Wow. Yeah. All right, last question. We're wrapping it up.
Okay.
Who and what styles did this band influence?
Well, actually, oddly enough, it was influenced by the Beatles, but then it went back and it influenced the Beatles. So you guys have heard Sgt. Pepper?
Yeah.
Well, the only reason that it happened was because of my daddy's album, Pet Sounds.
Wow.
And, yeah, basically Paul McCartney has said that it's one of his favorite albums. He loves the song God Only Knows. It's Paul McCartney. Is that right?
Yes.
Paul. Okay. Sometimes John Lennon, Paul. I get them confused.
Paul McCartney.
There's so many. And so Eric Clapton has also said he's been influenced. And then, just a side note, Beatles producer George Martin said that without Pet Sounds, Sgt. Pepper wouldn't have ever happened. I'm sorry, it's the amnesia. Happened. Sometimes I can't speak. And so, yeah, that's basically it.
Wow. Well, that's great. Before we go, let's take a listen to Wouldn't It Be Nice, shall we?
Okay, let's listen.
Wouldn't it be nice if we were older, then we wouldn't have to wait so long? And wouldn't it be nice to live together in the kind of world where we belong? No one's gonna...
Ooh, what a beautiful piece of music.
I know, that's one of my favorites. I love it.
Why don't you tell us a few things about that?
Okay, well, a couple secrets that my dad doesn't usually let out. There were 2 12-string guitars that were situated inside where my dad was sitting.
Okay.
And inaudible to the other musicians, so they weren't actually all playing together.
Oh.
And then Hal, the drummer, God bless him.
Classic Hal.
He had to wear headphones because he had to know when to hit the beat because he got a little confused sometimes.
He ain't got no rhythm.
Yeah, it's okay.
Must be white.
People have said that it's one of my daddy's most adventurous and varied arrangements to date because let me tell you about the instruments that he used in this song. He had 2 drums, 3 guitars, 2 of them 12-string. I told you that before.
Ooh.
He had 4 horns, so he had like French horns, all kinds of crazy stuff. He had 3 basses, percussions, and 2 accordions.
No way, girl.
I know. And so at the end when you hear that little part and it sounds like it's actually a mandolin, oh no, it's an accordion.
An accordion?
So basically the reason why this song is so important is because of the use of all these different crazy instruments. It was very revolutionary, and it was also really like the rock, pop, psychedelic, pop, rock thing.
Wow.
Yeah, so it kind of started a new genre, new era.
So interesting.
I know.
Well, that's all the time we have for today.
Are you sure? Because I still want to talk a little bit more about Wilson Phillips. Can we... I thought I was going to sing.
We got time? No? Okay. No, we got time.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Connie.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay.